remaining. Reserve time.
And then obviously Danish Bears we've casted in the past. I ran into these guys in a pub game recently. They were 5 stacked in a pub. Who does that as a team? But you know, I'm just messing around. That Hesta Joe Rotten guy went ham on us.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, he destroyed Merlando.
He is a pretty good player from what I've experienced. He knows his stuff. But I really look for the Rise under Ace. I think Ace was one of the players that I felt like the strongest about in previous iterations of his teams, where I felt like he oftentimes stood out as the MVP for them. So I'm looking forward to seeing them a little bit more and seeing how this team kind of comes together. Of course, Durka was telling us just earlier that if Danish Bears don't throw, that they look to be a pretty solid team.
Yeah, I think that from what we saw last time, who did they play? Was it Foon Fyong? I can't remember when I casted them. Whatever team they played against, I think they split and they looked okay doing it. New team is a pretty good test though.
They played versus Foon Fyongs and went 1-1, and then versus SFZ though they did lose both games.
Yeah, SFZ is they're a tricky team because they individually they look really strong.
Team pick.
But I think as time goes on, individual skill matters a little bit less than teamwork. Like I think the teamwork aspect of Dota is getting rated about where it needs to be. Like people are starting to realize that it's pretty important to be successful. All right, Night Stalker is picked.
10 seconds.
Everybody keeps talking about that hero nowadays because of the new regen factor.
5 seconds.
Yeah, he got the Ogre Magi treatment, or yeah. Was Nyx the first one that got it?
That insane HP regen.
Yeah, I think so. It's like first Nyx Assassin, and then it was like Ogre Magi. And
Ogre got armor.
No, Ogre Magi got a. Not now, but like previous patch. Yeah. It's something Ice Frog's been doing. Like whenever he feels like a hero isn't quite right, he'll just give them like, you know what? Let's change that 0.2 HP regen per second to 2. You know, just see what happens. See if that makes them a little bit more viable.
It's a pretty interesting principle. I was thinking about it a lot actually. Now that you bring it up, like what makes an offlane hero viable. And when you look at a hero like Nyx, you look at that base HP pool and you think to yourself, it's got to be pretty good. But
is that your wallet?
Yeah, this is mine.
Oh, do you want it?
No.
Okay.
And if you look at a hero like Nyx, you think that it's going to be pretty successful based off that HP regen, but then you realize it's such a hit or miss hero.
Yes.
Because if you don't get the ganks off, if they just get early vision and the enemy team snowballs, your hero, like, it actually feels quite useless. Which is weird because if you think about it, Nyx would have really fit that last meta, right? Where all the int cores were so popular. You would 500 mana burn Leshrac to death. But, you know, he's just one of those boomer bust heroes. And when you take a look at heroes like, for example, what is that hero called?
5 seconds remaining.
I can't even remember off the top of my head. When you take a hero, look at heroes like Night Stalker, they're kind of similar, but at the same time, Night Stalker gives you a lot more in the face of, like, he's more versatile in that he can gank a little bit earlier. He's not as level dependent, and more importantly, the vision game is pretty important, especially when heroes like Bounty Hunter have been nerfed. And it's like when heroes like Bounty are nerfed, what ends up happening is that everybody that has like high vision as a hero gets a side buff. So heroes like Spectre, which give you AoE, you know, like global vision essentially in team fights.
Right.
Slark, Luna, exactly. Heroes like that kind of receive like a side buff in a sense like that, and I don't think people consider that enough. Which is why Slark was banned now.
The Night Stalker, I feel like, is definitely one of those heroes that will snowball pretty quickly. And if he has a good start in the offlane, I feel like he just can control the game entirely because he
10
does get that
seconds
fast
remaining.
Aghanims. Support maybe gets him the early gem, so they can get it right
5
away,
seconds
and then
remaining.
boom, you just take so much map control away from the enemy team. And if you're really smart at cycling your gem,
Reserve
you know, the
time.
next daytime comes up, go ahead, drop the gem for a little while, and you know, wait for the next nighttime. That you can just really limit the enemy team's farming capabilities so much. That being said, I do feel like Nyx Assassin, because of the sizable buffs that he's beginning to his late game with the Aghanim Scepter, I feel like he has a lot more viability as a late game hero. But Night Stalker, whereas like his late game potential only comes from his vision, like his silence and his Q really aren't that strong
10
going late
seconds
game, and most of the time he's not going to have a whole lot of right click damage either.
Yeah, that's why you can't run him as a
5
mid or
seconds
a carry.
remaining.
You just
Right.
listed the exact reasons.
Lena.
But Visage and Earthshaker,
Dire
was
team
relatively
pick.
untouched, just a good hero overall. Visage received, I think he received a buff if I remember correctly. I just can't remember what it was. I thought something about the hero change, but if it didn't, whatever. But Visage has been a lot more popular lately. I'm gonna look it up right now. Actually,
Yeah.
I really want to see the patch notes again, just as a refresher course.
So
10
Danish Bears,
seconds
I would
remaining.
say almost a pretty standard opening in some ways. They could
5 seconds
switch their
remaining.
supports around quite heavily. Whether it's going to be Lena Earthshaker support, Earthshaker
Reserve
off lane,
time.
and Visage Lena support. You could have a Lena mid. I think there are so many different ways you can run this that new team are going to have a hard time drafting
Three
against it when it
team
comes
pick.
to figuring out what the laning phase is going to be. But new team do see a common line among all these heroes, which is that the silencer is going to be very valuable against them. Even if it is going to be Lena support, it still will just destroy that that hero when it comes to some of the
Templar
team fights.
Assassin.
And that's why Danish Bears will then back
Dire
away
team
from the
pick.
mid lane Lena and now go for a Templar Assassin. So we're looking more at a off-lane Earthshaker now, which I think is still valuable versus Silencer, despite the obvious downsides of having that global silence against you, which is that he can get that really early initiation and combos well with the Templar Assassin. So if they can find that Silencer and just jump him
10
straight out,
seconds remaining.
or just even the first couple of ganks kind of shut him down, this will
5
limit the
seconds
carry
remaining.
Silencer. Now, it could be a support Silencer paired up with the Bane. It's not bad, actually, with the Last Word and the
Reserve
Nightmare.
time.
It's actually a decent synergy.
I think this is like some weird CIS Russian Dota thing, where it's like they pick it a
Mhm.
lot as a support and a core. I don't see it as often in the other scenes, but that might just be my lack of familiarity currently.
No, you're definitely right. I mean, I've jumped around a little bit in the scenes now since 6.85, and Silencer seems to be a common pickup for CIS teams, whereas most others
Radiant
are going to
team
ignore it
ban.
almost entirely.
Yeah. These are two heroes though that have been completely untouched by the patch, Ember Spirit and Templar Assassin. And I think rightfully so. I think TA and Ember are both heroes that are completely, like, they were pretty neutral in the last
10
patch.
seconds remaining.
I think Ember's, if everybody else keeps getting
5
nerfed, Ember
seconds
might start
remaining.
approaching a territory where he's very good. Whereas right now I just think he's good. I don't
Right.
know if he'll ever reach the broken
Dire
territory
team
just because
ban.
of how squishy he is naturally as a hero. And how good spells like, for example, Blink Hex or Blink Stun is on him, as opposed to like the other carries that are so mobile or tanky naturally.
Mm-hmm.
Like with Ember, what are you gonna build that'll tank for you? Like even
10
Scotty is kind of
seconds remaining.
inefficient because if you get caught out, you die. Like that's
Mhm.
just the bare
5
bones principle of it.
seconds remaining.
Like if you get caught out, you die. If you go for a Scotty, you probably die anyways.
Reserve time.
If you you don't really go for things like AC, maybe Lincoln's,
Mm-hmm.
but aside from that, there's not a whole lot of items that you're gonna purchase or see.
All right, Skywrath Mage is going to be banned away now. And still waiting on the last ban coming out from new team. They go for the Invoker.
team
What?
pick.
Invoker. Okay, maybe there's something that we haven't seen from Danish Bears. I didn't cast their other series, I don't think, so. Or maybe this is something that they've seen in scrims against them, but
I think it's pretty decent against what new team have, or maybe they're just. I'm not actually sure. especially since TA has already been drafted. But
Dire team
Danish Bears is going to take the Slardar, a hero that has become increasingly more popular lately, both as a carry and an offlane from what I can see.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the hero is a carry that can give you a lot of initiation potential, like almost no other carry can. And more importantly, it's a hero that the amplified damage just helps overall so much. It's almost like you're god strengthening your entire team, but even
10
better,
seconds
just because
remaining.
whatever mid that you're paired up with can just deal tons of
5
damage.
seconds
And the
Yeah.
vision aspect of it is so underrated, because now that track has been removed, like the vision aspect of track has been removed. Sorry, you made my hair get.
Oh well, I'm sorry, but you didn't have your mic on all the way. Now
Did you see what
every
happened,
single
though?
time you rub your hair, though, it goes off.
Okay.
It goes through the microphone.
There's like
somehow.
10 different hairs that are stuck in the mic now.
Oh no!
It hurts like crazy. I'm actually pulling hair out of it. That's what's going on. You guys didn't see, but Austin just harassed me.
I had to fix your I had to fix your mic setup.
So many hairs.
It's not my fault. Every single time you go into these setups, you don't make sure
I hate
the
these
microphone's
mics.
in front
I
of
wish
you.
we had headsets. Can I just bring for headsets?
No, we're not set up for headsets.
Rough. All right, Juggernaut's picked. Fantastic hero.
10 seconds
Not really, but
remaining.
I don't know. When it comes to like the initiation game, I
5
think New Team is
seconds
gonna struggle.
remaining.
But their overall team fight, man. Dota
Oh
bug.
man, yeah, this bug has been happening.
Is it the array thing? Yeah, it happens to me all the time. At home too.
I don't know what to do about this because it'll happen like 2 or 3 times. How is it still happening? We went through the whole entire weekend like this.
I don't know.
Good Lord.
2015.
2015. All right. Sorry, I'll just go back to us. Hello. Yeah, we have a slight desync, but it is what it is.
See
Sorry.
audio? Dota's not loading for me anymore.
The video. I
There
can
you go.
actually see. I can look over there and watch me turn my head. It's that bad.
I see. So does that mean I can do things? Oh, sick. I can predict the future.
You can predict the future. Good job, dude.
I know that I'll move my hand back
Literally 0.5
and
seconds ahead.
forwards.
Great
Do
stuff.
you think that'd be an advantage in life if you could if you could see the future 0.5 seconds ahead of time? When do you think
Yes.
it becomes an incredible advantage? Like, how many seconds do you think minimum would you need to make it just like OP in life?
I think you'd probably need 3 seconds to make it OP, but there's definitely a lot of things.
What
that
could you do in
0.5
3 seconds
at.
that would make it OP?
I mean, even just Dota. Just think about it. 0.5 seconds, head start. You know they're going to blink on you. You have a 0.5 seconds, you just double tap your blink dagger.
I guess that's true.
If you have fast enough reaction, you could easily
Yeah, but I
do
meant
that.
like in real life. Dota's not real life.
Okay, but I'm just giving an example.
Yeah. I'd say 1 minute. If I had a 1 minute advantage over everybody.
1 minute?
Yeah.
Good lord, just 5 seconds is already OP, dude.
All right. So we have a pause. For those of you that don't know, keeping up with me and Austin's careers, we'll be going to ESL New York shortly. I meant to ask you,
Oh,
do you
whoops.
do you think during like pause times it's acceptable for us to mess around and just joke?
Yeah, of course.
I
What
can
else
tell.
is there to do?
I saw some Reddit threads where some people really don't like it.
Yeah, but those people are...
I'm trying to figure out what the balance is necessary.
Those
I
people are just
only try to do it
flamers.
during the pauses though. I almost never try to do it when there's an actual game happening.
No. Okay, the whole entire reason that casting is the thing is that it's entertaining. It is entertainment at its heart. So whatever way you plan on entertaining the crowd, essentially, like go for it.
Yeah, because my
Like-
greatest skill is BSing about random stuff.
Yes, it is.
3 seconds though. Imagine what a if I had a minute, I could really do work.
A full minute, like
Full minute. I could predict the end of NBA games. I could. I don't know. I'm struggling to
Wow.
think so hard.
you're like, oh, I could do all these things in
Car
life.
crashes. I could see accidents happening.
Yes.
And prepare.
But even like again, 5 seconds is enough. Still.
Yeah, I guess.
You go through that intersection, you're gonna get creamed by a truck. Well, you just like brake.
How many? Have you ever been in any car accidents before?
No.
Okay.
Very minor.
I've been in 2.
My car did a 180 when I got into a car crash, but nothing happened.
I've been in 2.
Dent on the side. What happened?
My cousin was coming down a hill,
Mm-hmm.
and what ended up happening, then it's like, I guess I'll just hand motion it. It's like he can only see one side of the road. It's very dangerous, and they finally put a stop sign there. And he went, and some car was going like 70 miles an hour down a hill and almost blindsided us and clipped us.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Oh, good.
Dota just crashed.
Yeah.
Oh, we're doing it at the same time.
No, it's a bug that happens all the way across the board.
Oh, everybody drops?
Yeah.
Something already.
Well, I'm not sure if the players drop, but I know like spectators drop and shit.
Yeah, I'm sure this isn't us.
I was playing with I was casting with Zai in Eternal Envy.
Yeah.
For what was that? MLG finals.
Yeah.
And Zai, the first game that he casted, he had this same bug like 9 times in a row.
I see.
Oh. It was pretty nasty.
It's very, very frustrating.
It is. All right, we're back into the game now. And as you can see, the players do not TC.
Amazing.
But we'll still have a pause anyway. Anyway, 75 miles an hour. And clipped you.
It was pretty scary. We thought we were
bet.
going to die. My cousin like screamed at the dude in like half broken English. And then one time, my cousin was on the news, that same cousin.
Uh-huh.
True story. Random stuff just happens to my life and my family. They were taking my grandparents to a nursing, like their nursing place. And then, you know, there was one of those car chases, and it just happened in front of my cousin. And the guy tried to, like, run in front of my cousin or something. And we were really scared because we thought the cops were going to shoot and stuff. Yeah.
Jesus.
All right. The game has started, though. No more things about my personal life. We
Yep.
have things to analyze.
The
Who's
battle
Helen alive?
begins.
That's somebody on my friends list.
Wow. That's on you to figure it out then.
It's Sunlight Dota 2.
Sunlight. Oh, okay.
Very,
He's pretty good.
very useful when people don't use their real names.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I like calling. He's been having this name for a while though. YOLO Warrior, Uba.
Yeah. I don't mind
So,
that.
Let's just call him that. I like that. We'll call Ember Spirit Sunlight though. Yeah.
I mean, if he wants to be... Okay, you know what? That's the new rule. If he wants to be known as Helen Alive, he's Helen Alive. Okay? That's what we're going to call him.
That's what you. All right.
Yeah.
Helena. Go you, Helena.
Yeah.
Your first debut into the competitive scene.
Does EE really need to really tell us what anime girls he's into? Like, all I'm saying is... like, so that's whatever name... If I can pronounce EE's name, I'm going to call him that now.
Okay. Until it comes to like ESL 1.
Yeah.
No, but I kind of had a similar rule, but I always got flamed down constantly.
Nah. You gotta make a stand. As a former pro gamer, I will be with you 100%.
Thanks, dude.
This mid lane already has been pretty rough.
Nexon would never allow that level of stuff, would they?
Dude, Nexon, I guess I can talk about it now. They almost fined us once because Bambo all chatted. Like, he all chatted like GG or something really small. I can't remember what it was, but it was like pretty absurd. It was Kespa that did it. This mid lane, though, I think he's just dead.
Yeah, I think so. Go Black is
Oh.
going to be chained. Oh, wow. They get Helena, but Go Black at the bottom lane is also going to be dying, as Cito is really unable to stop that one. The dual lane does not work for New Team, and I did not realize you were talking about the middle lane
Yeah,
at
I
the
was-
exact same time I was talking about bottom.
I'm always watching mid now, because...
Yeah.
But this, I was going to say, like, this lane's already rough, but for TA to first blood solo, it was so weird, too, because all he did was continuously right-click him and side-blade him once or twice, and then he died. And that's... I can't explain to you, like, how massive that is in the mid lane to get a solo first blood over the enemy hero. It almost always, cap, just as a general rule of thumb, means a full level and about 700 gold. Like, bare minimum. That's how much it works. Like, look at the net
700
worth.
gold advantage?
Yeah,
you
look
mean
at the
with
net
first
worth.
blood?
Yeah. Like, because you're also going to get the CS advantage, and if necessary, like, the enemy mid has the TP too. Like, look, it's exactly that, actually. It's actually 700, yep. That's absurd. And a full level? It's like starting with cheats on. You just got a bunch of bounty runes at once now.
Have you been experienced with the alchemists that have been picked up lately?
No.
We're going to have quite the pause on our hands. The bounty alchemists, 500 gold to start.
Oh, really?
Yep. At, what was it? It was like at 45 minutes in, a bounty rune's worth like 800 gold or something.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, what can you do?
Yeah, because I remember this, and I was just thinking, if he doesn't do anything at all, just pick up bounty runes every 2 minutes at this point in the game.
Yeah,
45
like
minutes
400 GPM.
400 GPM. Just picking up bounty runes. I was just like, oh my god, that's so absurd.
Why?
It's just such a weird mechanic.
I mean, but the hero's so garbage.
Yeah, but wouldn't you rather like make the hero viable than work around this weird bounty?
You might as well try though. See if that's the fix that you need.
All right, if you guys want to ask any questions to Blitz during this cast, hit him up on his Ask FM.
Yeah.
Blitz Dota, or is it underscore Dota?
It's just Blitz Dota.
Blitz Dota. So if you have any questions you want to answer live in the cast with pauses like these.
You know what I really like answering on a real note? I love when people ask me actual Dota questions. Not like really, really like fuzzy stuff where it's like, I'm at 4K, how do I get better?
Oh, yeah.
What can how do I answer that question? But it's like, you give me a specific scenario to work with. Like, how do I win this specific matchup under these
TA versus
circumstances?
a Storm Spirit.
Yeah, and he gets first blood. If you give me those like very specific like circumstances, then I can help a lot. It's those very general questions, because you know what the answer is always going to be. If you're stuck in an MMR, just farm better. That's 100%. It's always the answer. It's always going to be the answer. Just farm better. I play games. You know, I have that 4.6K account, and I also have a 6.5K account, and I have a 7K account. And the 6.5K and 7K account, the CSing is pretty negligible, but I started tracking like the Dota buff stats because I wanted to know, like, as a general rule of thumb, what changes, and it's the CS per 10 minutes that is drastic.
Oh, really?
Like the average 6K player averages like 50 CS in 10 minutes or something like that. I think that's my mark. And then the average like 4K player is at like 36, which is like absurd because A, you're against worse competition, and B, it's just not that hard to get 50.
Yeah, it's 5 creeps a minute. That's standard. Like if you're doing, decent as a carry and decent as a mid, you should be able to get 5.
That means
CS
you're
a
missing
minute.
3 creeps a wave. Okay.
Yeah.
That the enemy mid gets 3 denies a wave. I'll live with that. But you should still be able to get the rest of them. That's even with checking like for runes, for example, maybe even going for the odd gank. Like as a carry, that number has to be inflated even more. My 7K account, I think like my average CS is like 65 or something per 10.
Yeah.
Is like absurdly high. Because you don't gank. You don't move around the map. We're chilled out. You tired?
Double Night Stalker, or double Mango Night Stalker. I just now realized what we were looking at. Is that a build?
I saw in a competitive
legit?
game recently 3 mangoes. It's pretty nuts. I mean, look at his regen. Just 2, 3, 4 a second.
I mean, if you have the extra item slots for it, I guess it does make sense because eventually you're going to use those mangoes, like guaranteed as a Night Stalker.
Yeah, I think this. I don't know. I really feel like mango as an item just still isn't very good.
I don't think so either.
Like, there's just something about the item that I feel like doesn't make it incredibly solid.
I've never felt particularly strong about the mango first builds on any offlaners. I think like there are very few heroes that I think it's valuable on. Like Nyx Assassin, if you're up against some sort of like spammer.
I like it on Mag.
Mag, that one makes sense to me. Yeah.
I think the problem with mango still is that it's a little bit too expensive still, as weird as that sounds.
Yeah.
Because clarity still is only 50, and in almost every scenario you'd prefer to just have the clarity. Like the mango just feels like a waste to eat instantly, and that 1 HP regen a second is kind of negligible when you're against 2 supports, for example. And like you've talked about, like the meta's kind of shifted where supports are more dedicated in their efforts to keep their offlaner out. And when this happens, I almost feel like the double mango doesn't really give you what you need when it comes to utility.
Mm-hmm.
But the game is paused again. The game is paused again. The game is paused again. At least we're having some pretty interesting discussions about item builds. This mid matchup though is like, this might be like one of the more one-sided matchups I've ever seen right now. Like the TA has double the net worth of the Ember Spirit actually, like really close. She's like 80 gold off of having double the net worth of Ember at 3 minutes. Like that's a pretty absurd margin right now. And it's an unfortunate circumstance because I think like it's kind of unacceptable at this level to die like that, but at the same time, I know how it happens. You just kind of get lulled into this like weird false sense of security because you know that the enemy mid doesn't have a disable. So you think to yourself like, oh, there's no way I can die, right? And then as it's happening, you're just like, oh crap, like this is really happening, huh?
Right.
I've been there, hell and alive. Don't worry about it. Seriously, it happened to me today. I died to like, I think it was like a Zeus mid.
Were you playing on your Smurf?
Yeah, I just like, all of a sudden I was like dead and I didn't really think about it. I was just like, oh, I'm dead.
Whoops.
Yeah, it happens. I think I was playing against some like 3K player mid too. It's pretty sad.
So, if you were playing as what were you?
I was Timber or something.
So if anybody's listening, you were playing a Zeus mid against a Timbersaw in a 4K-ish bracket game. That could have been Blitz Dota. You could have slain the legendary 7K Storm Spirit.
I don't know why people say that. I did it with other heroes
7K
too.
Storm Spirit, 3K everything else.
I literally did it with like 12 different heroes, but
yeah, I know.
there's got to be a meme about something.
Everyone needs a meme.
All right, so this is just kind of bring it back to us, man. Just
Bring it back.
bring it back to us.
Hello, everybody.
I had stuff to say, but I'm really. You know what it is? I had Dooner, you know the Dooner place?
Yeah.
And I had their fries, and they were almost too greasy, you know, like they fried them for too long.
Mm-hmm.
And now my throat feels like there's something stuck in it. Like I don't feel sick, I just feel like, does this make any sense to you?
Sure.
Like it feels like there's like grease stuck in my throat. Which is weird because of how much fast food I eat. I should be immune to this. That's how much grease there was in that rice.
Oh, well, I haven't eaten today.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Should get some food after this.
Yeah, I'm down.
Because
My treat dog.
I had 2 apples and a nutrition bar thing.
Yeah, my treat dog.
All right.
I got you. All right. Bulba just messaged me and said, Blitz, you're blank.
You're blank?
Fill in
What?
those blanks. Thank you, Sam.
Great stuff, Sam. Thank you for contributing so much.
There's not a lot of viewers right now, so I'll just give you guys real talk, okay?
All right.
So we have a private Skype group, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
It's with me, Sam, and EGM. And right after Digital Chaos lost to Cloud9, me and EGM went pretty ham on Bulba.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, thanks for the emotional support, guys. It means a lot. But it's like, you got to do that, you know? It's not even like we're flaming Digital Chaos. We're just flaming... You got to flame Bulba.
Yeah, just Bulba.
You know?
Just Bulba.
You got to do it.
Yeah.
I love Digital Chaos. They've got 2 of my better friends on that team. They've got AUI and Bulba.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I love TC like a brother. When we were in Korea, he helped me so much as a player improve. And we recently played some 1v1s to get better and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Really great guy. Like so 3 out of their 5. I don't know Biryu or Yawar.
I met you are at TI.
Yeah.
I've talked to him a couple times. He seems like a really nice guy. Really down to earth. A little shy.
MSS Brax and Ritsu in 1437. I was on a team with 1437 in Dota 1.
Oh, really?
Really long
Team name.
I can't remember.
See, I love hearing Dota 1 names just because, like, there were no sponsors back then, so everybody had, like, you know, and it was a decade ago, so they were always a little bit
Maybe I can actually look
clowny.
this up.
You want to know what my team's name was?
What?
Sanity's Eclipse.
Sanity's Eclipse.
Yep.
Okay, wait.
Because it was the OD
I'm about to find
Ultimate.
it.
name. We had a tag and everything. Everyone had tags. Oh, looks like they're ready again. I'm sure we'll be back to us in another 5
Oh, we were
seconds.
Hausen. That's what it was.
Hausen?
Yeah. There's a poll. We were in that poll. The best teams. Look. You can see it right here. Hausen. Destralis, Sakagami, Blitz, Jing, 1437.
Hausen. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Blitz, 1437. I was a good Dota 1 player.
Good job, dude. Anyway, we're going to have a fight in the bottom lane. It looks like Rise is going to be kind of caught here. They don't have enough damage to kill the Slardar, but there's still a fight going to go on. Light Strike Array does land. Now looking for the stun. They will be able to get it on Go Black, chain it up. Ace doesn't actually manage to get it off. The silence just comes in time, but still, he will go down in the end. There's not much that new team can do about that one. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, once again, Templar Assassin slays the Ember Spirit. So things are just going wrong for new team all across the board. And look at this gigantic wave. Jesus. This is a triple wave. How do they get so much?
Yeah, this... they actually did a really good job of forcing out the offlaner at the same time. They did that skip thing, but at the same time, they're not going to be able to capitalize.
Oh, dear.
They've gotta just get out.
Spin. Ace, he's going to try and get out. Juggernaut doesn't actually have his level 6, so he's not going to be able to really catch anybody here. Cedoy needs to slow somebody down. FN should be able to right-click down the Earthshaker, it looks like. And that will be, finally, some free intelligence going to YOLO Warrior.
They needed that so badly, just because of how the laning phase has gone in general.
Yeah.
4-0. This mid lane is not getting better. In fact, it's just getting worse.
Yeah, if your carry rotates like that, you got to get something out of it, especially since you already were losing.
Yeah, that's called the... It's like when your mid is rotating at like 2 minutes without a rune. That's called the... That's called the we lost... We blanking lost team in solo queue.
Or just call it effing.
Yeah, when you...
Lost.
It's the mad move.
Yeah, so you just go and try and kill things. And
It's like you're level 2 with the Dragon Knight and you're trying to breathe fire people to death. You know somebody's tilted. But that move has to pay off. Like I can't really explain to you guys how important that is. But you rotate your safe lane carry who's gonna miss like 12 plus CS, pretty much like 2 or 3 waves, and then you don't get anything out of it.
Right.
Pretty disastrous. I think he even got the last hit, so pretty decent benefit now, and he climbs up the net worth charts pretty significantly, but at the same time, testament to just how well Hestejoran's done so far as this Templar Assassin. He's stacking for himself right now, which is the correct move to do, STA. He's completely dominating this lane. Unfortunately, they don't have any vision, and there's about to be a 4-man assault potentially here, and this is the wrong time for him to move forward, as he's just going to get backstabbed by so many heroes.
Yeah, especially with that Fen coming in as well. Omni Slash used everything that new team have in their inventory they throw at that poor Templar Assassin just to be able to take him out. And the Ember Spirit will now reclaim a small bit of holds in this middle lane, though. Not for long. He's still going to be a good 1,000 gold down by the time the Templar Assassin comes back.
That's really weird, though, because I'll just point out that I think Danish Bears made a little bit of a mistake. I don't want them to watch the VOD and think that I'm super criticizing them, but I think they should have had vision in that area set up, or at least a hero behind the mid hero, just because that like 30-40 second downtime a lot of teams are going to capitalize on and try to rotate in, but really nice. I don't even want to call it a gank because Goblek just kind of ran straight at them.
Yeah.
I think he did that because he assumed that maybe the supports moved reactively, but that was still kind of like a silly death.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is
3-man push in the bottom lane. They just picked off the Bane earlier and will try and go for this tier 1 tower. The one thing you could say is the new team do keep on getting bodies in front of the tower to make sure that there is no early push. But that'll come in time, especially with the Templar Assassin being so far ahead, who's now up in the top lane and frees up the middle lane to the Earthshaker.
Yeah,
He'll have a really fast red beam of death item.
He's even going top right now.
Desolator. Jesus.
Red meme up. I thought you were just calling it that to Twitch meme, but
no,
I didn't know that you had actually forgotten.
You know me. I don't like Twitch meme that hard.
Yeah.
I don't try and make Twitch memes. Let's put it that way.
I don't even meme that hard. I usually have original content set up.
This is true.
It's only XD. People just call jokes memes nowadays, you know?
Yeah.
That's a different kind of meme.
I mean, once you say a joke and then everyone else repeats it, then it becomes a meme.
Yeah. Like, I said I look like Chuan first, you know? And then it just became a meme somehow. Alright, so this bottom lane, though, Sidoi, he's level 6. He's done pretty good for himself, and you've got a smoke picked up on new team. They've been playing pretty aggressive. I really like the way that FN is playing in general. I like that he's rotating so much because he realizes the deficit in his team early on. I think you just pop the Night Stalker ulti right now and go for it.
Well, no, they're going to miss the Light Strike Array, expecting Sidoi to back up. Now they do get the sleep on Ace, which prevents them from being able to combo too much. Rise almost takes an Omni Slash there to the dome.
You don't want to dive, but you do want to dive, if that makes sense.
Yeah. You've already committed so much.
Yeah, exactly. And they have a ward there, too. And I think that new team should know that, the existence of this ward here in this bottom lane, just because
the way they win on the Night Stalker.
Yeah.
The moment he showed up.
But I'm not quite certain, like, this 4-man rotation down here. Like, you even pop Flame Guard on your Ember Spirit here, who's just going to farm the jungle, but this isn't nearly as efficient as farming a lane. Yeah. And this is just kind of slowing everything down because you've committed 3 heroes down here, but you're not really accomplishing too much. And then on top of that, you won't have Knight also. Like, that's the big part, is that I knew that Sidoi was going to pop the Knight, but then now that it's gone, what do you actually do with your time? And Ace is going to try to make a move here, but should just back out.
Forced out rotations, but oh, Rise, he'll be the sacrifice. Woke up the Slardar, will die himself,
I don't even
or
think
maybe
he's gonna
not.
die.
Yeah, they didn't actually make a commitment, which is probably for the best because Hester Joe did make a rotation himself. So, new team wisely back up, but it's still another failed set of rotations from them.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, everything's a little bit funky right now just because things have just become weird in the sense that, like, everybody's trying to, like, run at each other, but nobody's really accomplishing too much with it.
Mm-hmm. Our Slardar has treads. Looks like he's going to be going for the Blink Dagger as his next item. Meanwhile, middle lane, they're going to run down the Silencer. That'll be easy kill. So Hester Joe's now 3-1-0 and has a Desolator coming in very shortly. Bottom lane, stun onto Sidoi, but they got to back up now as Helen Alive's going to make a rotation over. The sleep onto Rise will make sure that he does go down. They keep on forcing rotations down to that bottom lane, but it feels a little awkward because they don't have an offlaner that's like actively farming the top lane, so forcing all those rotations isn't actually like gaining them too much there, but it is gaining a lot with whenever Hester Joe is concerned. Like, he's constantly either farming up top or bottom, or middle rather.
I think you just kind of naturally accept that Hester Joe's going to get pretty big in this game and say, like, okay, whatever. Like, he's going to get pretty huge. They actually have a lot to deal with him. Like, you've got an Ember Spirit who naturally deals pretty well. This bottom lane Ace is probably going to pick up 2 here.
Yeah, if he gets a lucky bash or even just runs him down.
He doesn't even need it.
Yeah.
That's the absurd
kill.
That's like the actual absurd part about Slardar as a core.
Yep.
Oh, and Rise is actually just going to get dived, but TP support doesn't even save him there.
Yeah, I was playing around with the off-lane Slardar today, and I really enjoyed it. I think he's a rather underrated hero. I thought he was before in the last patch. When Sprint got buffed up, I was just like, man, they're getting to a point where Sprint's going to be one of those abilities, right? That just becomes, like, it gets buffed up so many times that eventually you're just like, you start running the hero based off of those buffs. And it really feels like the presence of the Slardar with him, like, I think it's like a 6-second downtime or something like that. 5-second downtime for a sprint. Like, that's absurd because it actually, it makes you almost taste it.
You seem to really enjoy it so much.
Yeah, I do. The rotational power is fantastic. But I played against an Omni Knight 2 times in a row. I don't know how that happened. That hero does not make for easy kills for Slardar. They're going to pick up an early kill on Roshan here with the... good lord, I keep forgetting Desolator. And the Amplify damage. Roshan at negative 16 armor right now. So an Aegis for the Slardar. At a certain point, they could just, yeah, I mean, can't they just start bullying down tier 2 towers? They've got the initiation of the Slardar and the pushing power of the Templar Assassin.
That's kind of the strength of the hero as a whole. It's just like, you can't really stop the Slardar once he gets rolling, just because the initiation potential of it is so high, and the amplified damage early game is just insanely good. And
oh, the nuke still follows him.
FN's got to be careful right now, and I think Danish Bears, with this Roshan, you can pretty much just get aggressive as you want. With this Deso, like, nothing stops you right now.
Oh, he just jumped straight for FN. Does get silenced, though, right as he makes the blink. They'll be able to stun up Seedoy.
Look at that damage.
Oh, Uba? Nope, go black. They need to be able to interrupt this one. Noya is going to be able to get away, thankfully. The Fiend script does end with the stuns coming out. Has to Joe. One click. Nope, not enough. Now turnaround, Omni Slash, eating through the refraction pretty quickly, but an Echo Slam turnaround kill. And Danish Bears just demolish New Team as they sense they had a big advantage after taking that Aegis. And they utilized that advantage to dive the tier 2 tower, pick up a bunch of kills, and still holding on to that Aegis.
Again, I don't want to harp on it too much, but this is just from the advantage that their mid player was able to get in the mid lane. Like, even after they successfully ganked the Templar Assassin that one time, if you remember when they like 4-man rotated for him, he's still heavily in first place. Like, look at what the lead is right now. Even with FN dying and his entire team getting pretty much destroyed, and the Roshan advantage, he's still ahead of the Slardar when it comes to net worth. Yeah. To give you some perspective, but it doesn't even matter because the TA as a secondary, as like the second core, actually she's a first because she has a Slardar on her team, is like dominating everybody else. It's not even very close. She pretty much just 3-shots everybody, and once she has a blink dagger, she can pretty hard counter the Jug, right? Like, the Jug ults you, and then if you have refraction up, you just blink away.
All that damage, still not enough, but a nuke comes out from the Visage that does ensure the kill on the Silencer. So 3 deaths on him. Go black, 5 deaths there. This is not a happy New Team, that's for sure, as their tier 2 tower is easily going to go down in the middle lane.
Dire's structures are fortified.
All right. So you're completely right, though. You can pretty much just snowball off of this advantage right now, which is what they're doing. Probably the biggest benefit is that you're just giving your supports and your side heroes a ton of gold. Like, look how farmed this Visage is. When you talk about, like, negative armor strats, it's been around in Dota. Remember, they used to do, like, SF plus Venge. That used to be a really popular one. But this is, like, taking it to another level. You've got Medallion, probably Solar Crest, like, after the Ags. You've got the Slardar Amp, and then you've got the TA Deso. What this really does is it just makes the Bane, and I guess it makes every hero kind of useless. Like, who's the high armor heroes on this team? Like, your Night Stalker and your Jug, kind of?
Yeah, Jug probably.
Everybody just buy Trinkle Boots.
Yeah. But even he ticks down into minus armor. Rise going to be picked off by the 4-man smoke gang here of New Team. Not really that valuable, especially given how much extra time it's going to take for them to finally finish off Rise. But in the process, I mean, they were going to lose probably their 2 towers at the top lane anyway, so at least they get something out of it. So they can maybe take control both middle and bottom lane and farm that up while Hesta Joe takes out the tier 2 in the top lane.
Dire's top tower is under
You still have another minute on that Aegis, so if Slaughter wants to play really aggressively and try and find some space for that Aegis to be useful. Looks like they're going to go, oh, nice Light Strike array. Noya saw that one coming thanks to the ward, and they'll be able to pick up 1 and a second as Goldblack's going to run into the Trap farther down, though. He's going to be easily dead. Fiend's Grip is going off with the Bane. He's going to die eventually here. Meanwhile, Helen alive, as well as Cedo, managed to get away from the Slardar, who dropped low but didn't make the commitment. They actually go back in now. Has to Joe catching them, and Cedo will be right-clicked down by the Visage Familiars. And Ace will wait out his Aegis regeneration.
This entire laning phase, though, has pretty much led to this moment, and now Danish Bears... I mean, their lineup is pretty well balanced for this. Like, you've got a lot of different tanky heroes. FN at bottom is going to get gone on, and he doesn't want to just go for the TP because he knows the bash potential is real.
Yeah, but
he's going to get right-clicked down.
I like the Slardar waiting on the spin so he can get off the amplify damage, knowing that he would output a lot more damage after the spin is down before. Oh, wow. Helena messes up the combination there. Searing Chain's not going off.
He's just, I mean, he's had such a rough time of it in general. Like, I mean, I know Sunlight's actually is actually a really solid player, but this is just one of those games where you get behind early as an Ember and it's easy to tilt out a little bit. And Danish Bears is just taking full advantage of that and pretty much doing whatever they want. Giving up tier 2 towers, like the second one at just 19 minutes into the game is going to lead to like a 10k net worth disadvantage at least. And that's pretty hard to come back from, but they still have a lineup to do it. Like, Ember's quite decent in a game like this. It's just all your heroes are so squishy. Like, you can't really afford to lose the laning phase this hard, because the enemy team is not squishy at all.
Oh, go Black. It's going to be found here, gets off the Fiend's Grip, but he'll just be right-clicked down. And the Global Silence goes off. Ace is actually going to have a bit of a hard time. But, oh, the Echo Slam locking down two. They'll both die now. 3 down on the side of New Team. I thought maybe, just maybe, they could trade all of that for the Slardar, but not even close. He lives thanks in part to his Vanguard.
I mean, the Ember goes in but doesn't have any more mana, and that's not a winnable fight. Like, not even close. Once you saw Goblet get 2-shot there, you just... Run city. Yep.
You're like, nope.
But I'm actually really impressed with how Danish Bears is playing.
Sure.
Like, this is just a clean game overall from them. Like, this is just good Dota. Like, Durka came in here before, like you pointed out earlier, and was like, don't sleep on his team. But if they don't do some throwy stuff, like, they're really solid, and we're seeing that right now.
Yeah, certainly. I feel like I love the way that they kept up the pressure continuously. Maybe this just really fits their playstyle, you know, going for an aggressive carry like a Slardar. It obviously helps that Hesta Joe got so far ahead in the mid lane, so he was able to be a factor much early on, but still. Nice pick up there, double stun. Ooh, the Sideblades gets the double kill. Cedo, yeah, he's going to make it, but only because GG was called. Never mind. Wicked sick for Ace, 25-7, and New Team just get trounced. Game 1 against Danish Bears.
Yeah, I'm going to start handing out MVPs. Okay. Because I just think that it's an interesting concept. Like, they have one in basketball. People always say, Dota is a team game. Well, so is every other team game in the history, and they have MVPs.
Yeah.
So if you're going to have to choose one, you're going to have to choose one. And for me, Hesta Joe Rotten completely dominating this mid lane.
Oh, yeah, easily.
Getting the solo first blood at level 3 completely just runs over this game.
But Blitz, the whole entire team played well.
Yeah, but